Thank you, Cadet Menza. It was a great speech. Before I introduce our keynote speaker, I want to acknowledge some very hardworking staff. The Hack Academy is one of 16 municipal police academies in the state of Pennsylvania. You can't just go anywhere and receive the training that these individuals received. Some of the academies, many of the academies in Pennsylvania work with a very limited number of instructors. Anywhere from 25 to 35 instructors that present the 919 hours that your cadets, our cadets, would receive. However, HAC takes a very different approach to this. We use over 100 different instructors to deliver our 919 hours. I can assure you that your loved ones receive the very best training available in the state of Pennsylvania. These people are subject matter experts. They could have been working overnight on a drug detail, and they come in the next day and they may teach a class on drug recognition. We have world-class shooters that deal with firearms. We have people that are experts in DUI detection. The list goes on and on. They are the steel rod and the backbone that make our academy what it is, and they make the cadets that you see here before you. So I'd like to give a round of applause to our instructors. Other people that contribute to the 122nd Academy's success are part-time staff Becky Downing, Bill Sindorf, Cindy Shuck, Daryl Pottiger, and Tom Robbins. Mandy Rodriguez, our administrative office specialist. Taylor Kopanetz, who has worked part-time helping Mandy with office tasks relating to the Academy. And Angie Sandine, a public safety center coordinator that also assists. Sergeants Jamie Kopanetz and Earl Schooley, who provided leadership, guidance, and mentorship to the class nearly every day that the 122nd was in session. I would also like to thank Bob Stakem, the Executive Director of the Public Safety Training Center, for his support and assistance. I also want to specifically mention Dr. Ski, the President of HAC, for his unwavering support for our Academy and its staff. The last person who I want to recognize is Beth Dombrowski. Beth served the Public Safety Center in many capacities from November 1998 until just yesterday, when she officially retired. Beth was the Academy Director during the 122nd's time with us, and she ran the daily activities perfectly, and is most responsible for this group of cadets' successes. Ms. Dombrowski sends her congratulations. I know she has already reached out to you all personally, and she is presently on a much-deserved vacation with her family in the Carolinas. It is now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker. Chief Jared Berkeheiser is the current Chief of Police of the Fort Indiantown Police Department, Indiantown Gap Police Department. He is also a third-generation police officer. 34 years ago, he began his policing career by serving in the United States Air Force Security Police. Upon his honorable discharge in 1994, he joined the Lancaster Bureau of Police, and for 26 years served with distinction. His assignments included patrol, narcotics, criminal investigations, and SWAT. While with SWAT, he was one of the founding members and lead instructors for the Lancaster County Special Emergency Response Team, and eventually became its deputy commander. He has received many awards and commendations, to include 2 top investigative awards for in-depth pattern crime investigations, several citations for meritorious service and unit service, and most notably, 2 commendations for bravery, one of which involved Chief Berkey Heiser being involved in a shootout with a gang member who had just committed a robbery, and during this shootout, he left cover while under fire to rescue an injured officer. Chief Berkey Heiser has a passion for assisting officers who are struggling with post-traumatic stress, as he has experienced this himself. He has openly talked about his experiences surrounding PTSD and developed a peer support program during his time with the Lancaster Bureau of Police. He also assisted the city with finding an employee assistance program that was specifically designed to address the challenges that the city's police officers and firefighters experience. Chief Berkey Heiser's educational and professional experience include a BA in criminal justice and an MA in management and organizational leadership from the American Military University, graduating from the 59th Municipal Police Academy at HAC, being appointed to the MOPEC in 2018 by the governor, and his successful completion of the 260th session of the FBI's National Academy in Quantico, Virginia, where he studied advanced leadership. He currently lives in northern Lebanon County, where he enjoys spending time with his wife of 33 years and his 2 accomplished daughters. He is also excited to welcome his first grandson into the world in August. When he's not spending time with his family, you can usually find him at the gym working out or coaching others in cross-training, powerlifting, and strongman. Please join me in welcoming Chief Jared Berkey Heiser.
Thank you. I'll start with a little story. So Lieutenant Cindy Shirk reached out to me to speak here tonight. I started fashioning my remarks, on the computer. And one of the tricks that I learned when I was the press information officer for Lancaster City Police, my chief asked me if I could type out his statement for the press in a larger font, so he didn't have to stand in front of the cameras wearing readers or pull them out. So, when I became a captain and then chief, I started doing that. And then as I'm preparing my remarks for tonight, I noticed that I have to make the font that much bigger on the computer for me not to wear a reader. So I was feeling my age and I'm like, man, this kind of stinks. So then I get here, I look at the program and I see that Commissioner Carter's here. And Commissioner Carter was one of my PT instructors in the 59th Police Academy. So when I saw his name, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling actually pretty good. So he was an instructor for me. And then he comes walking in here, and I don't think he's aged a bit since 1994. And then I looked over at the academy class walking in here, and I'm like, where are these kids coming from? So I'm just going to accept my age, pull out my readers as I go through my remarks here. So Chief McCoy, I want to thank you for the introduction and thank you for this awesome opportunity to speak at this graduation. I want to say congratulations to the graduates and their families. I'm sure at times it felt like this day was so far away. To the families, I know you're proud of your loved ones and glad this is over, because I'm sure you lived some of this academy life with them, as they were probably walking around the house mumbling vehicle code sections, crime code sections, trying to remember different definitions, worrying about what next PT session is going to feel like. But you stood right alongside them, and that's what they're going to need as their career goes forward, is their family. Each of you, graduates and families, are now a member of the Thin Blue Line. Welcome to that family. This family is almost like every other traditional family. It has its highs and lows, and at times it'll feel like a crazy roller coaster ride. Just like the normal family, we have the slightly crazy, doofy uncles, aunts, cousins. You know, the type that walk to their own beat. We also have our pranksters, fellow officers that, if they can find an unlocked cruiser, especially yours while you're parked at lunch, might shove a pigeon inside of it. Or maybe find a duck waddling somewhere and shove it in somebody's office and lock the door for them to find when they come to work the next morning. We have the stern fatherly figures and concerned motherly figures in this career field. The biggest difference between our blue family and the traditional family is we are the people those families turn to on their worst days. Like any roller coaster ride, strap in and get ready for the ride. Although it may not feel like it at times, you do have a lot of control over this ride. You're not only taking the ride, but you're often that ride operator. The decisions you make and actions you take help control how successful your ride or your career will be. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. I will keep my private life unsullied as an example to all, and will behave in a manner that does not bring discredit to me or my agency. I recognize the badge of my office as a symbol of public faith, and I accept it as public trust to be held so long as I am true to the ethics of police service. I will constantly strive to achieve these objectives and ideals, dedicating myself before God in my chosen profession. What I just read to you is an excerpt from the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. This is the life you just chose by graduating the police academy. Such an awesome and at times heavy responsibility. We get seconds or minutes to make a decision in a critical incident, and everyone else will spend hours critiquing it or criticizing it, especially your fellow cops. It is important that you become a master at your profession. Keep in mind, most of the public does not know what we do or how we do it. They get their information from media outlets, TV shows like Chicago PD, Cops, real crime dramas, and movies. People do not call 911 to ask what kind of a day we're having or just to say hello. They call us in times of need, times of crisis, and most often, these are the worst days of their lives. You can handle a neighbor dispute because someone's dog went to the bathroom in the wrong yard, and 5 minutes later, you're getting dispatched to some type of critical incident involving a fatal accident, serious assault, suicide, or homicide. You have a front row seat to the roulette wheel of life. You never know where that little ball will stop, and if it's going to pick your number on any given day or in any given hour. The best thing you can do is be prepared, and that's what the Academy has started for you. As Chief McCoy said, do not allow this new cop life to become the only life you live. If you do, you may lose relationships. It'll lead to other unhealthy habits, unhealthy hypervigilance, and other destructive behavior. Keep your hobbies and find new ones. Keep your non-police friends. It's enjoyable to hang out with normal people. Don't be afraid to set boundaries with your friends if you must. Because guess what? They're going to ask you if you were on that latest headline. Were you on that homicide? Were you on that car crash? And they're probably going to even ask you for legal advice. But above all, keep all those friends and family close. Your family, talk to them. Don't act like that petulant teenager, probably like you were when you were in high school, when they ask you how your day was and you respond with a and shrug your shoulders. Or you respond with, same crap, different day. If you had a bad day, talk it out with your family. You don't have to go into the gory details, but you need to let off that steam. Do not think you're protecting your family by not talking to them, or that they won't understand. Trust me, they want to understand. They want to see you healthy. and they want to help because they love you. Your fitness. You went through a grueling PT regimen to graduate the academy. This is one of the few career fields that you don't have to maintain those standards throughout, which is a shame. But maintain your mental and physical fitness. Cliff Byerly, one of my defensive tactics instructors, said, "The day chooses you, you don't get to choose the day." This goes back to my earlier comment about the roulette wheel, or when you play the lottery. You never know when that number is going to be called. You cannot help yourself, let alone help others, or be there for your family if you do not maintain a healthy lifestyle. Diet, exercise, proper sleep, good work-life balance. Continue to exercise your brain by reading and going to training, and not just reading cop stuff. Okay, there are other books out there. Seek help if you're struggling emotionally or mentally. We often see society at its worst or on their worst day. This can eventually take a toll. Actually, what often happens inside the halls of a police station can create more stress than the calls for service, believe it or not. And bad leadership can take an even tougher toll on the cops than the bad calls. So if you become a boss one day, be a good one. Just like you get a wellness physical, it's not a bad idea to see a mental health professional for a check-in or a checkup once a year, and especially after a critical incident. We cannot afford to be physically or mentally unhealthy because people are counting on us. Like former MMA fighter and Army Special Forces member Tim Kennedy says, "Be hard to kill and get fit or die." These statements apply to both mental and physical health and toughness. You want to always be the student. It will help you become a master in your profession. Again, read articles, read books, go to training, even on your own dime if you have to, and study case law. Do not allow your ego to interfere with your life or career. Stay humble. We all make mistakes, learn from them. And normally, in this career field, we usually only make that mistake one time. Like, I don't know, on my second day out on patrol, backing into a lawyer's car on a robbery in progress call. I didn't do that ever again. Or when a bad guy tried to get away in a car and I thought I could reach through the window and take the keys out of the ignition, and he dragged me for a block and a half. I didn't make that mistake again either. The minute you think you know it all, or you have seen it all, something new will punch you in the face. Like Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. If your ego runs your life and you think you have the best laid plan for everything, you may under-respond in a situation or panic because your plan just went down the toilet, creating more problems for yourself. Be flexible. The good idea fairy is always waiting around the corner, and so is Murphy's Law, and they'll come out of the woodwork. Treat people with respect. Everyone's a human being. It will be difficult at times. Maybe it's a suspect that resisted arrest or even assaulted you, or maybe you're at a public demonstration and people are calling you all sorts of horrible things and even spitting on you. If you get to go home at the end of the day, you already won. That's your goal, to get home every day. There's no reason to act unprofessional. Be that professional, it goes a long way. People will call you all kinds of things, and it'll be tough at times, but do not take the bait and do not take it personally. Think about this for a minute. We, the police, are the only local government representative that people can reach out and touch 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All they have to do is call 911 and we go. So we will take the brunt of everyone's frustrations about everything. It doesn't matter. Through the George Floyd protests in May in 2020, I sat down with protesters and we discussed what their issues were. Most of their issues were not with us, the police. They had problems with corrections. That's not us. They wanted more STEM classes in high school. That's certainly not us. But we were taking the brunt of all their frustrations. I was given this advice a long time ago, and Chief McCoy touched on it. Treat every crime victim like they were a member of your family, like your grandma. Yeah, it may just be a person's porch furniture or bicycle that was stolen, but it was theirs. It meant something to them. They paid for it. and maybe on a fixed income, so it has an impact. So you need to be compassionate. Listen, it goes a long way. Always remember, we do this job for the victim. Think of it this way. For me, I feel it was easy. I always wanted to be a cop, and being a third-generation police officer, I never wanted to do anything that would embarrass the profession my dad or my grandpa were proud of. And I never wanted to do anything that my mother, my wife, or my daughters would be embarrassed to read in the paper or to have a fellow student come up and tell them at school. So as a police officer, your fundamental duty is to protect and serve your community with a guardian heart and a warrior spirit. To responsibly carry the weight of the badge on your chest with your head up, looking sharp like you do tonight, displaying courage and having compassion. All you have to do is follow the law enforcement code of ethics. Be that servant leader in your agency and your community. You're not going to go out there and save the world in this job, but you're going to have a lot of small victories, and you're going to make impacts in a lot of people's lives by doing this job. Like your class president said, it's one of the most noble professions. So again, congratulations on your graduation. Congratulations to your families. Strap in, this is only the beginning. I want you to stay safe and welcome to our family. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. I would now like to introduce the newest addition to our Academy staff, Chief Todd Reiner. Chief Reiner will be overseeing the daily Academy operations with the retirement of Beth Dombrowski. Chief Reiner has many years of experience in many different aspects of law enforcement and will certainly be an asset for our future cadets. Chief Reiner.
Thank you, Chief McCoy. You got your beat. I'm at like 18 phones. It's an honor to be part of the team at Pole Law Enforcement Training Complex. Retired from a 28-year career in law enforcement, I now have the privilege of mentoring cadets before they begin their own careers. It's an incredible responsibility each instructor and Academy staff member understands as they strive every day to impart knowledge, leadership, life, and work experience in interactions with the cadets. Director Beth Dombrowski is retired this week after 25 years of serving this academy. I've been here for a short time, but her commitment to each class has been abundantly clear. I know Director Dombrowski has said her goodbyes and congratulations to each of you. She has expertly led your class to this point, but has graciously offered me the opportunity to graduate the 122nd class. If I could leave you with a quote from David Goggins. I've read some of his work recently, and he put into words a notion that I try to meet each day. We have to go to a point in our lives where there is no finish line. There is no ending to find true pride into what you have done on this earth. You've reached this milestone of success as you graduate today, but there is no finish line. Take pride in yourselves, sustain what you do well, and continue to improve what is necessary, but keep moving forward. It is now time to acknowledge the Special Achievement Awards. I'd like to invite Chief Garth Warner, representing both Gary Township Police Department and the Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police, and Sergeant Tony Lombardo of the East Hemphill Police Department, as well as our lead driving instructor, to present the driving award.
Good evening. As a representative of the Pennsylvania Chiefs of Police Association, I'm honored to speak about our strong support for the Harrisburg Area Community College Police Academy program. By supporting the Harrisburg Area Community College's public safety program, and specifically the Police Academy program, we are investing in the future of professionalism and excellence in law enforcement. About the driving award. Safe driving plays a critical role in law enforcement. It is essential for police officers to arrive at calls for help safely and quickly, and yet exemplify responsible and cautious driving habits, setting an example for others on the road.
Thank you, Chief. Good evening. Hello, class. Seems like just a few months ago we were in class together and I was getting frustrated with everything you were screwing up. In fact, it wasn't months ago, it was only a couple days ago. This is the most seriousness that I've seen out of the entire class at once. Through 919 hours, as I've kept track with you folks of my countdown to retirement, you've kept me in the loop for how many days you've had remaining, and yet here we are. Hopefully you'll stick it out for the next 20 or 25 years. The EVOC program consists of 20 breathtaking hours in the classroom teaching the cadets how to drive properly. And since they all come from different backgrounds, different driving behaviors, and varying levels of experience, it is by far one of the hardest modules to teach, mainly because everybody thinks that they're a good driver. The common theme, regardless of which class it is, they don't know how to drive. During the classroom portion, we give them various tests to see what they know and how they basically can read the road, look out for hazards and conflicts, and make proper decisions while behind the wheel, not just of any vehicle, but behind the wheel of an emergency vehicle. This training in the classroom counts for 40% of the overall driver proficiency award. Then the fun stuff begins. Then we get to drive. And driving police cars in June is great. On the track, the weather's about 110 degrees. We get an occasional thunderstorm that comes in, and then our night driving in the summertime. I split up the groups. That way I take half the class, and my assistants for this class was Chief Ron Frederick, Staff Sergeant Josh Booker, and Sergeant Mike McCormick. And I give my assistants their own cadets to drive, and usually those cadets who are in more need of help than others. There's only so much Dramamine, as you know, class, that I can take to be in a car with you. The driving exercises consist of various maneuvers to make the cadets think, decide, and control their car. Needless to say, we outfit these exercises with a lot of traffic cones, and a lot of traffic cones were hit. The actual driving portion counts for 60% of the driver proficiency award. The award itself is named for my mentor, my friend and a longtime instructor of the Vehicle Code and EVOC program here at HAC, Sergeant Rick Groff. The award is presented to the cadet who has the overall top score after the classroom and practical driving portions. The recipient for the 122nd class, I guess they know how to drive in West Virginia, Stephen Gray.
Would Sergeant Tony Clements of the Derry Township Police Department please come forward to present the Firearms Award.
This is the first year we had a video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you watched it, it didn't put me in a very favorable light by tasering and pepper spraying these guys. They know I'm a much nicer guy than them and did not enjoy any of that. First of all, I would like to thank everyone in attendance here this evening for showing support to these men and women who are about to enter a very difficult profession. I would also like to thank all the firearms instructors who help teach the basic skills that these officers will need to carry out their jobs. we had cadets that have never held a gun. We've had everything from never held a gun to some cadets who thought they were John Wick. They were not. In recent years, officers that have graduated the academy have been involved in officer-involved shootings as soon as being on the job anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months. I'm proud and happy to say that they survived. I encourage all of the cadets here to continue to train throughout their entire career so that they may return safely to their loved ones at night. The award for firearms excellence was named after Sergeant Tom Olson from Campbell Borough. Sergeant Olson was the lead firearms instructor here at the Academy for many years. The majority of the senior firearms instructors here at the Academy were taught how to shoot by Sergeant Olson. Many of the techniques he passed on to us are still being used at this Academy. The recipient of this year's award will have their name engraved on a trophy that's kept at the Police Academy. The criteria that we use is we combine the scores for handgun, dim light handgun, shotgun, and rifle, and we average those scores for this Academy's winner. This year's scoring was so close that for the first time, we had to add scoring from the written firearms exam into the average. The recipient of this Academy's overall firearms award is Cadet Menson. Congratulations. I should mention the runner-up. As Ricky Bobby says, if you're not first, you're last, but I would still acknowledge him. Cadet Foost, if you could stand up. As I said, their score was identical. We had to take it down to the actual written exam to get a winner, so congratulations to both. Thank you.
And now Commissioner Tom Carter of the Harrisburg Bureau of Police, please come forward to present the Physical Fitness Award on behalf of the physical fitness staff.
Thank you. Hello, families, guests, scumbags. Sergeant, you just messed up because every time a Harrisburg cadet wins the driving plaque award, they always tear up cars. Oh my God. Anyway, you know, it takes special people to do what you say people are going to do. A career in this field is very tiresome and trying. Starting with the Mike Brown incident out west, the Dave Floyd incident, and the numerous other incidents, you know, I ask myself, in this day and age, would I do what they're doing right now? I came on back in the 80s. So that makes me pretty old, huh? But I just ask myself, would I be brave enough to raise my hand to go through what they're going to go through and to serve the public? And time after time, I say yes. Because I hear that calling. I want to serve the public. I want to do justice. See people get justice, have compassion. And these officers right here, I don't really like them, but I do believe that they will make great police officers. I do believe that we have future police chiefs. We have future leaders right there. I can recall the first day of PT, they were all miserable. Is Officer Hafner here? No? You're lucky because I got logs outside that we got about 15 minutes before you officially graduate. Anyway, I just want to say to the families that stick with your officers, wives, and parents, and everybody else. Support them because every day is different and you're going to see a change in them. Some days they'll be up, other days they will be down, but what they need most of all, they need your support and your love. So please never turn your back on them, and I thank you for that. So the PT award, it's just like a high school class, gym class, you do PT until you throw up and different things like that, but PT is an event where we try to make the class come together as one. We try to get them to be leaders of each other and trust in each other and support the weakest link. And that's what they do. PT isn't about, who's the best in running or lifting weights or jumping jacks, sit-ups, and push-ups. It's about that cadet that can reach back and pull everybody else up here with them. It's about leadership. That's how we build leadership, is through our PT program. You didn't know that, did you? Anyway, I'll stop talking. And I'll just say that the winner of the 122nd PT award is Mr. Gambo. That's all right.
Our team names.
Dr. Alfred Griswold will now present the Academic Achievement Award.
Thank you very much. This recipient has demonstrated scholarship, excellence in their learning. It was said early on that these cadets need to continue to be lifelong learners, continue to study their craft, and continue to study other things. It's been said that throughout the 119 hours or 5 modules, that each of the cadets must exemplify at least 80% completion in all of their coursework. This particular cadet has demonstrated 98.62% of the 919 hours, 5 modules. It is my pleasure to recognize Cody Lee Arley for his outstanding achievement in the Academic Achievement Award.
I will be presenting the Class Inspirational Award. This award is voted on, this is the only award voted on by the entire class choosing one of their own, and the cadets utilize criteria to determine who is most deserving. Which cadet has strived the hardest to overcome the most adversity to reach graduation day, has been the most challenged and succeeded by sheer determination, had demonstrated a positive attitude in all circumstances, and has set an excellent example for the other cadets, and has had a positive influence on the class as a whole, and encouraged the class to work as a team. The cadet receiving this award is Pima Tamang. Congratulations to all the cadets who have received the Special Achievement Award. Now, please. Without further delay, we will now present the certificates of graduation. Could you please have all the presenter or the family presenters join us on stage?